Hi, and welcome to the Empowered Lifestyle platform. Today, I'm going to go through all of the tools that are available to help you build an extraordinary business. My name is Kirsty. For those of you who don't know me, I've been involved in this business for over 30 years. And you can imagine 30 years ago, we just did not have access to the kind of support that we have today. All of the tools that I'm going to show you today, we either had to photocopy them, we had to buy manuals, we didn't have access to be able to share the kind of information that we get to share today. However, on the other side, there is so much information out there that sometimes we can waste a lot of time kind of reinventing the wheel, recreating our own tools, or looking for the tools that we want to try to send our team or send our follow-ups and prospects. So I'm just going to spend the next 25 minutes going through the tools that you have to build a business. And actually, you have everything that you need to build a business. The only thing you need to bring is your own consistency, your own mindset, feeding your mindset every day. So I thought I'd start off with this document, which is actually in our Facebook page and in boards. And I'm going to show you where those tools are, because those are the ELP Facebook page, Empowered Lifestyle Platform Facebook page, and our ELP boards, the library of all the documents and all the information that you need. Those are the two main sites and that you need to know and to be able to have access to, and to really know where things are so you can access them quickly. The other things that I highly recommend being part of and plugging into are your local market Nu Skin Facebook page. And in New Zealand, Australia, we have Nu Skin Pacific, and we also have the business Facebook page. The other one I highly recommend is the OTG Live Facebook page, and you'll find the link for that on our first document, the first 48 hours document. So the business is simple. We just need to invite, present, enroll, train. And that's just a cycle that we duplicate over and over and over. The difference between someone like Paul and I, who are team elites, made over $10 million US in the business, is because we just did this a lot of times. And of course, competency is built by repeating the cycle over and over. I would also say that the best way to build the business is with speed, because when you stop, start, it becomes very difficult to get competent, to get a flow, which is why we're so excited about the Power of Three program, because it really teaches you that habit of your daily income producing activities. Inviting, you've got to have a big list. You've got to invite correctly and consistently. So we have access to the scripts that you can use. We also recommend that it's that approach of sifting and not selling, and being accountable using your cap sheet, which we're going to learn about in the Power of Three program. Present, there are many different ways that you can get the information in front of someone. Again, that's why it's really important to know where things are on the Facebook page and in boards. Presenting also includes being able to share your own story. And a story has a few different parts to it. It was building your own credibility. So what you used to do, what was your pain, what were you looking for, where were you at? Were you at a crossroads? And then how Nu Skin solved that problem. And the reason that it's important to have your own story, whether you're presenting to someone one-on-one or whether you are starting to present on the Zooms and in the bigger group presentations, is because that's how people are also relating to you, and it opens up their own pain point by listening to you and relating to your story. So when we present, there are different ways that we present. We can learn to do a one-on-one, but if you're new in the business, I'd highly recommend just starting off by sending one of the short videos that we have on our boards. I'll show you where those are. That can be like a little curiosity grabber, and then the second stage might be inviting them onto one of our live Zoom presentations. I'll show you where the links are. They're all on boards. The other thing is learning how to do your one-on-one, or better still, especially in your first 6 months of the business, is doing presentations with your upline or someone in your upline. So you get to learn in the trenches how to do a great presentation. Enroll. There are different ways that people join the business. This system that I'm going to go through today is predominantly for people that are joining to build a business. They want to actually make a bit of income and build a business. And then train. So if someone is joining to build the business, it's really important to follow that duplication model, enroll them, sell them their first kit at retail, then show them the first document, which is the first 48-hour document. And the most important thing is they're going to have committed to purchasing their business kit, but writing down their goals and their list. And this is the homework that's really important for them to do before they get trained. And again, I'll show you the process of that and where those documents are in the system. We call it a 48-hour training because essentially it should be done, that first startup training, within a couple of days of that person joining the business. Your new person is never going to be as excited as they are when they first join. So it's really important to harness that excitement and also give them some skills and give them some scaffolding, point them in the right direction, take them by the hand so that they get some success in the first 2 to 3 weeks. We've seen from experience that if someone doesn't get a little bit of success, it could even just be selling a product, one product, right? Successfully bringing someone to a presentation. Of course, ultimately signing someone up as a business partner, then that is going to build belief. So your new team member really needs that scaffolding. They really need that support. So to get that first strategy meeting happening in that first 2 or 3 days, it's really important that they must have done their goals, written down their goals, and started on their list, at least written down like their top 10 contacts in those categories of family, community, business, etc. That first training, I've got the document I can show you, just a checklist of what you go through to train that new person. But the most important thing is inviting with them, helping them to invite their first pool of people, that warm circle, their warm circle, their top 20 warm circle, the people that they would love to do business with. It's really important that you don't just send someone off to start inviting by themselves, because that can be a little bit confronting. If you get a few rejections, sometimes that can be the difference between someone really losing the wind out of their sails. And then again, setting up a launch event for them to invite to, the presentation, helping them to do their 2-on-1s, advising them what prospects could come to a Zoom, which ones would be nice to do an in-person 2-on-1, or even doing a launch event, either a wellness assessment event or a business event where they can have 5-10 people coming and you're going to help them do that launch event. And that can be done online or offline. And then the cycle just repeats along the way. And that is the business. That is how we build the business. And so we are also under the umbrella of OTG System 7, and it's exactly the same principles. When you look at the umbrella that we plug into, the most successful group in Nu Skin that goes all the way back up to Nathan Ricks, who was Paul and my mentor. Sadly, he has passed away now, but he really left a legacy. So the OTG System 7 is the legacy that that we had that support under. So if you look at the workflow, set goals, create a contact list, invite, present the opportunity, follow up, get started, teamwork, and that's just that cycle. And so those are the daily workflows that we're focused on, plugging into the special events, presentations, the business briefing, the events, the conventions, the special leadership summits, and then also plugging into the mindset daily. The core habits are the essential principles of success. And so this document is actually in boards. I highly recommend you print that out and have that posted up on your wall, because this is the business. This is the difference between how long it's going to take you to be successful, how successful you become, and how you are also able to help and lead people in your team. So number one, being a product of the product. Everyone needs to be using as many of the products as possible. Reconvert all the products that you otherwise are using in your home. Use Nu Skin products. This is your brand. This is your business. Become a raving fan of the products and find the ones that really make an impact on you. Acquire new customers regularly. We're building a subscription-based business. Present the business and the products to at least 15 people each month. I would say that's at least 15 people a month. And if you look at our Power of Three, we're looking at presenting to a minimum of 3 people a week. And it's that consistency, and it's building that funnel and really sifting that the cream starts to rise to the top. Achieve at least 2 blocks each week. A block is 500 points of volume. And that's a really great target, starting off at the beginning of the month, getting at least half of your blocks for your maintenance, whether you're qualifying to become a brand rep or you're in brand rep, and teaching your business people in your team to do the same. Feed your mind daily. This just has to be a non-negotiable, to really feed your mind with stories and success and understanding how to get success in Nu Skin and really shaping your mind to that of one who is successful. Staying connected, contributing to the events, which in our case is attending those weekly business presentations, whether you've got a guest or not, coming to the Power Hour, plugging into this Tuesday Live, and then be a team player, right? Participate. Don't just be on the outskirts observing. Either be actively listening, thinking that one day you're going to be participating and contributing. And these are all the things that you talk to any Blue Diamond Team Elite. These are all the practices that they just committed to. And that is the difference, right, between someone who's successful and not successful. So let's get into where these tools are. I'm going to start off with my Facebook page, the ELP Facebook page, Empowered Lifestyle Platform. So when you go onto the Facebook page, you're actually seeing my admin page. But if you look under Files, all of the key documents are here under Files. So when we look at our customer care document, again, that's something that's a critical document for building a long-term, sustainable, subscription-based customer volume, not just for you. You've got to learn this and then you teach this to your team. Again, I highly recommend printing out this document and having it somewhere, really committing to a 1 day a week where you do your customer care. So that's built in as a habit. That customer care document is great. The core principles for building a successful business, this is the way around these documents go. The first 48 hours is the first document that you run through with a new person. So that's the checklist of how to get started. And some of you have, I'm not sure if it's actually going to load here. If you load that, I'm not sure that's going to come through in my Zoom share, so I won't pull it up. I'll do it a different way. The first 7 days is the document that you use. It's just a PDF. You can download this to your computer or have it, access it each time you train someone. The first 7 days is the document, the checklist that you go through when you're giving someone that first training. And if you're really new and you're not feeling competent about training on some of the aspects, like compensation plan, for example, or inviting, there's links in that document that are linked to a video training. So you can just bring up the video training and run that video, and that's the training, and you're doing that with your person. The other great documents that are in here, and again, new people need to know where these are and be advised to print them out, are the Healthy Home document and the trifold brochure. So the trifold brochure, the customer document, and that folds up to a trifold, and that's what we give people when we're doing our wellness assessments. It also has the wellness assessment document itself. You may not be able to see that on my small little screen. And then also it has the handling objections, how to invite, some of the fundamental documents that you need. The Fast Start booklet, that's the booklet that you send someone when they first join, and that's where they get to write their goals down and start creating their list. So in that ELP Facebook page, there's also once a month we have our calendar of events, and all the links to all of the events in the week are in that calendar. So if you just go to that file, get familiar with the documents in there. I'll just show you some of the documents that are the essential documents. So one of them is the, I'll bring this up. One of them is this is the wellness assessment when you're doing a PRISM scan. It's really essential that you're doing this wellness assessment first, not just scanning people. We know now after 6 months of having PRISM in some of the markets, and more markets have been launched, but those of us who have been aggressively doing our wellness assessments, we've really seen the difference between those who are just doing PRISM scans and those who are doing a wellness assessment and then a scan. And many people are even just doing wellness assessments online without even a PRISM scan, and their conversion to a subscription is 50–60%. And some of them, as they get more competency, are building up to 80% conversion from a wellness assessment to a subscription. And that's when your customer care comes in, that document guiding you through how to really look after those customers with white glove treatment, so that you have those long-term customers. So that's a really essential document to have printed out, and to have them in multiples, have those documents printed in multiples. So the next document I wanted to show you was the first 48 hours. This was the one I mentioned was in, it's in files under first 48 hours. And so this is the document that is, just steps you through how to set up a good group chat, booking the training, sending the starter booklet, explaining the goals on the list. There's even a video link to show them, explaining the importance of and how to write your goals and your list. The product video, just to get a little bit familiar with some of the products they might have first purchased, and the essential Facebook groups to join. When you do your training, what you are then doing is, I'll just have to unshare and share again. You're then pulling up the first 7 days document. And that first 7 days just steps you through how to train your person. It's got a video to watch for the sales performance plan. It's got all the key steps that are required to really start the business. Setting up your own subscription account. It's got a video to watch there to explain the importance of having your own subscription. If you expect to build a subscription-based business, you need to have a subscription yourself. You need to be a product of the product. Nothing is going to move in your business faster than you move. So the business starts with you. There also is this setting up an event and then inviting. There's a video to link to teach that person. If you are not yet skilled enough to teach inviting, then there's a video there to watch and a link to the scripts. So there's everything that you need to step through in that, getting that person started. There's a third document which has the principles for success. I highly recommend each of you go and find that on the Facebook page. And that really just sums up, once you're in the business and you're up and running, again, that's something to have printed out on your wall, making sure that you're just following those basic principles. And it covers everything from building your belief to, to tracking, knowing your numbers, to driving lines. There's a fantastic video. I've actually posted it on our ELP Facebook page from Nathan Ricks himself, training on driving the lines. And if you've been in the business more than 3 or 4 months, I suggest that you watch that and rewatch that and rewatch that. It's a very old video. It's one of the great trainings of all times. And it really gives you an understanding of how to really build a monster business under you. It's not just about you following these principles. It's about bringing a new team member online, following these very early steps, just duplicating the system as quickly as possible and as precisely as possible, and then helping that person to do the same. And then driving that down and building that success layers deep into your business. So now what I want to do is just bring up the boards. Some of you may not have boards. If you don't, Boards is a free app that you can download as long as you have only got 2 boards on your app. It's free. So what Boards is, it's actually an app set up specifically for this industry of network marketing. And it's like a library of resources, but those resources can be shared directly to people's, your team or your prospects, to social media, through email. But it's just a one-stop shop where everything you need for every aspect of the business is there. Of course, we have our back office in Nu Skin that has a lot more kind of corporate stuff. It has other resources on the products. This one is a really great tool to use when you're in the trenches building your business. Great little things to share for follow-ups, great little product quick shares, depending on what someone wants to know about. So on this boards page, you can see my Empowered Lifestyle Platform boards. This is the front page of that board. So you've got different folders. The first folder here is all the information about the Power of 3 program and how to register. On these other folders, you have a folder specifically for Prism.io. So if you were interested in sending information to wellness professionals, there's a folder for that. If you want all the assessment tools and all the details, all the documents on how to do a Prism wellness assessment, you can go into New Zealand Prism Tools or Australia Prism Tools, and all of the trifold brochures, the printouts, they're all in there. You can also look for opportunity videos. So if you wanted to send someone a quick video, either as an introductory, a curiosity grabber, or something as a follow-up, they're all in there, and you can just send those directly to their socials. There's even some science training, more scientific trainings. There is scientific studies. There are all sorts of little troubleshooting, so if things are going wrong. Then when we go back to the main page, you can also see business tools. Under business tools, we've got that document that I just showed you. That's in a PDF right there. That's the same document. How to get started, how to get your new person started. That is on the Facebook page. Also under business tools is what to do next. Your first 7 days, that's the same document that I showed you before, which is when you train someone in that first 48 hours, that's the document that you run through with them. There's also in that what to do next, there's all the essential things that your new person needs, how to fill out the electronic funds transfer, the duplication model, whether they're purchasing an extra 2 kits or 5 kits to have on hand, and then how to get started on boards. That's for you to be able to send to a new person, advising them on how to get started in boards. Then under boards is all the inviting scripts. It's the duplication model, those documents I showed you before, how to build your business, how to be successful long term. It's also how to present. So we've got all the links to the different presentations. We've also got a couple of videos that are great to send people prior to coming onto the Zoom. There's also a really great 6-step communication process, which teaches you how to do your own great presentation. Follow-ups, handling objections. There's some really fantastic script in there. All the answers to the most common questions you get when you are inviting, when you're following up, when you're closing. Under business, there's also all the way down to a great reading list. You know, all of the classics that every single Team Elite has read and reread and reread. If you want to emulate success, I highly recommend you just go through, read every single one of these books. It's a fantastic reading list there. And then, of course, leadership. So in here are some really great tools when you're really up and running and you're just wanting to take your business up to a new and consistent level. You're really ready to build and get to Ruby. These are some phenomenal tools in here. Now back to the main page, the weekly events is where you'll find all of the Zoom links that you need. The once a month Amplify, the weekly skills, the Power Hour, all of the business presentations that are happening, the India presentation on a Tuesday night, the Helix presentation on a Wednesday night, and the Prism Business Opportunity Meeting on a Thursday night. So all of those links are there. So then whenever you're confused, what's happening, where do I look? If you just go to boards, on that front page, we'll really give you an idea of where to look, right? It's quite self-explanatory. And then we get to product, and I'm still building up this product section, but most of the things you need are going to be in this product section. So the customer care document is in the product section. The product cheat sheet is a phenomenal little sheet that you can print out, have with you, especially if you're new in the business and you're unfamiliar with, if someone wanted to get a product for bloating, you can go straight to this cheat sheet and quickly know which product to recommend. Digestion, immune function, longevity. So the cheat sheet is great. It's not a bad idea to have your assessment forms, your cheat sheet, this Prism product catalog. It's a great summary of all the Prism certified products. Not a bad idea to have that printed out in a nice clear file folder, as well as accessible here. But along with the cheat sheet, along with your assessment forms and your trifold brochure, and this summary, a brief summary on each of the products, it just means you are ready when you're in front of someone with some nice looking tools. You can always go online, but this is a nice quick flip to and find this information. Also in products, you have a little bit about the subscription rewards. So if you're wanting to send someone some information about the specific rewards of being on a subscription, that's in there. We have some great science trainings in here. And then you'll see there's two categories, Pharmanex and Nu Skin. So if we go into Nu Skin, if you go into LumiSpa, there's some great little quick share brochures. This little brochure, for example, you can just forward that to someone. It gives a little summary of LumiSpa, some of the results, some of the features of how it works, what it does, a little bit about science. It's a nice little summary if you have sent someone something about LumiSpa or given them a little demo, they're not quite ready to buy. This is a nice follow-up. We also have, in most of the products, the before and after pictures. So these before and after pictures, again, what I tend to do is I look through and I look for people that might be similar to my prospects. So if I'm talking with someone who's a little bit elderly, I might not necessarily send her the young pictures, but if someone is young, I'm going to send her ones that she can relate to. So I'm building up these before and after photos. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of before and after photos. I'm trying to put before and after photos in there that have dates on them, so you can really get an idea of, was that a month, was that 3 months, to put into perspective how remarkable that result is. So you'll see that there's, I'm building up, there's not all of the Nu Skin products in there, but there are the the main ones that I'm building up in there. Under products as well, you've also got Pharmanex, Prism certified products. There's some great trainings in here. There's a playlist of all the scanner trainings. When it comes to plugging in and building your own belief, and we talk about feeding your mind daily, I think it's a really great commitment to feed your mind in terms of your own personal growth, as well as feeding your mind on the products. Now, there's no better way of building your belief in the products than using the product, as well as, every day, if you just listen to 15 minutes on a particular product, or said each week, I'm just going to learn about a different product that I may not be using yet, but I'd love to use in the future. The more that you really listen to some of the science talks on the product, read other people's testimonies, learn about the innovation and what these products are doing differently to everybody else in the marketplace, then you're going to, find it easier to talk to them and share. You'll find a need for at least one of our products with every conversation that you have. Pretty much everyone is looking for something that we've got. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself in the beginning with trying to understand all the products, but just pick, one a week or one a month. Certainly trying at least 1 or 2 new products a month is a seriously important commitment if you want to be successful with the business long term. If you come into my house, you won't find another product from another company unless it's a product that Nu Skin has discontinued and just doesn't make anymore, like some of the makeup, for example. Paul and I really, in those early days, we didn't have any money. We weren't making a lot of money any money from Nu Skin in that first year, but we just understood. We'd been in business for ourselves. We just really understood that if we are to be the CEO, we're building a legacy, we're building up a successful business. We need to get our mind in the right place. And that business owner mentality is not only about building those daily activities, owning the business from the minute you wake up. Most of you are doing this part-time, but that doesn't mean to say that your intention and your habits and really carving out the time that you need to learn, to build belief, and of course to take action. Well, part of that is just being really familiar with where all those tools are and what the cycle of the business is, so that you get into that rhythm and into that flow. And I really see when people get into a momentum, it's because they're in that flow. They're taking that daily action. They've got that belief, but they're just like following that cycle around and around. And the more, the quicker that you can follow that cycle with a prospect, the better. And of course, we know some people need multiple exposures, but when someone is ready to go, move them through that cycle of duplication. Know where the tools are. Lead them through that first 48-hour document, the first 7 days. Make sure they've got their goals. Make sure they've done their list. Make sure they're, trying the products, using the products on a subscription. Know where to plug into. And the best way for you to do that is get familiar with that yourself. So I hope that's been helpful. We are really, poised with all these phenomenal tools, with these incredible products for technology, with Japan Convention coming up in September. We are so excited. We have a little bit of an idea of the kind of products that are going to be launched, but it is going to be an incredible last half of the year. So let's get busy. We will see you on the Zoom calls with your prospects, and have a fantastic day. Bye, everyone.